All right. Hello, everybody. Morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, all over the world. Welcome tonight with the AMA we're holding with Hololoot. Tonight we are here together with Maciek from Hololoot. Also, I'm here together with George. George and I are from Seedify HODLers. And we are holding this AMA because Hololoot is launching through Seedify. I think by now most of you people already know what Seedify is, but just for those that are for the first time here, Seedify is basically a gaming launchpad for blockchain games, where you can participate in the IGOs by holding SFUND, whereas the minimum requirement is currently 250 SFUND for tier 1, which is a lottery then. For the lottery, there will be 500 people chosen every IGO. After that, there's 8 more tiers, starting at 1,000 SFUND until 100,000 SFUND, which are all guaranteed tiers. So yeah, depending on how many SFUND you hold, it will basically decide how many tokens you will be able to purchase in the IGO. Like I said, we are from Seedify HODLers. Seedify HODLers is the community behind Seedify, where we basically speak about the projects that are being launched. We like to talk about price every now and then as well. We are, however, not affiliated with Seedify. We are independent. So there's Seedify, there's Seedify HODLers. It's 2 independent communities, companies, basically. So yeah, I would just like to give some time to Maciek to explain a bit about himself, where he's from, how did he start with Hololoot, and why, before we move on to asking our first questions.
Sure. So thank you for having me. Really happy to be here. And also I wanted to thank all of the people who have invested in the company, in the project on the Seedify platform. I will allow myself to share the information that at this moment of time, we're standing at about 80% of the allocation left. So I think it's a pretty good, turnaround. So I'm really grateful for everybody who participated in it. So a little bit about myself. So I'm from Poland. Our company is located currently in Switzerland. We've walked quite of a long and bumpy road. We've been on the market for about 5 years now. Me and my business partner, Adam, the CEO, and the CTO, Piotr, we actually met on a VR stand in a shopping mall. We had like one of the first HTC Vives in this part of Europe, so that was like magic at that point. VR seemed like a technology out of space in 2016. So we basically ran a little VR stand, and then we started slowly to expand into different areas. We did some VR trainings. We participated in corporate events. We sold the hardware, and then we started coding our first apps. And we've gotten to be able to realize a few commercial projects. And then we applied for public funding to go more into a R&D route. So in 2019, we've received $250,000 to be allocated to develop a technology that would allow for no-code AR experiences generator. And we first applied it to furniture, but to be very honest with you guys, it's not the most exciting part of the life to be in. We thought NFTs are simply more engaging. Most of the team has some experience in game dev and so on and so forth. So I'm a gamer myself. So we basically pivoted from let's say a classical Web 2 field of furniture to Web 3 kind of NFT gaming. having a very similar technology as the backbone, and then adding Web3 elements on top of it. So at this point, we're standing at, our ecosystem has 3 major components. We have a cloud service that is similar to Sketchfab, so you can upload 3D models there. We have an AR app that is connected with this cloud service, so whatever you upload to this cloud is automatically sent into the AR app. So if you want to get into AR and AR NFTs particularly, because the cloud service also has an NFT minting functionality implemented, then I think it's the only solution available on the market right now. That will be, because it's not yet released, that will be decentralized in the sense that anyone pretty much can become an AR NFT creator if that person is able to come up with a 3D model that is compatible with our platform. And the third element is a machine learning recommendation engine, and we plan to implement it kind of later on, because we expect that if the users create a lot of AR NFTs, then it would be good to have some kind of automatic guide, so to say. So let's say if you're into crypto blades, and that's kind of like fantasy, maybe not RPG, but a battle game, let's say, that has a very specific kind of art style, and then we would like this recommendation engine to recommend the users similar AR NFTs that exist within our ecosystem. So that's how we see the entire thing. And I think that's the little intro from my side. Is
okay,
it?
Yeah, it's okay. It's perfect. You already answered the first question about to introduce Hololoot too, so we can just go ahead for the next one. You talked about virtual reality. Why would I want to use virtual reality, and what is the cost of using it, and what else could be done with that?
Well, this is something that is confused often. So we did dabble in VR, but we have deviated from it towards AR. So our infrastructure is geared towards AR only. However, by having 3D models on a cloud, we're able to send it also into VR apps, if that makes sense. So in this sense, a 3D model that is minted on our cloud service can be sent to an AR app or a VR app, but we are developing an AR app. And the reason for that is it's cheaper, and it's, I don't think that VR is destined for mass adoption, simply because it's a technology that is quite strange. I'm not sure if you guys have played or used VR, but it completely detaches you from reality. And for example, when I was playing Half-Life Alyx, I needed a few moments to reconnect with reality because I had no idea what's going on for a moment, So I don't think it's a mass market technology. Whereas with AR, you basically have 1 billion devices worldwide currently that are supporting augmented reality. And as far as I know, there's little to none AR apps that kind of utilize this hardware, this infrastructure that is already there in the market. So kind of our plan is to tap into this already existing hardware and hopefully, take a segment of it and give something to gamers that they can use AR with, basically.
Yeah, I reckon when it comes to VR, people are trying to build like a new matrix in the real world, where people are basically. But it's an interesting concept, actually, VR. I have a VR headset myself, but I have to admit what you say, that indeed once you are immersed in the whole environment, you are so into it. Besides the fact that you have like a rock sitting on your face, it takes a while to adapt again to the real world. And when it comes to AR, from what I know, you can basically hold the device and then you have your NFT basically there, and then you can face the let's say phone to the reality, and then basically let the NFT move in the reality that you see. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
But
So
if I can add one thing, you know, the current state of AR is that you scan your living area, for example, or wherever you are, and you place a hologram into that area. And this is also where our infrastructure is at this point. But next year, we want to expand it into something called location-based AR NFTs. So in this sense, you would be able to kind of pin these AR NFTs to a specific geolocation in the same way that Pokemon did. I mean, not the same way, because Pokemon Go didn't really have AR, but they had quasi AR. They would basically give you feed from the camera and superimpose on it a 2.5D image of a Pokemon. So it wasn't really what we're planning to do, but the concept is kind of there. So this is something that we also want to move into, and I think at this point we're going to be able to call this an AR metaverse experience, because I can expand on it, or I can just shut up and we can move to the questions. It's up to you guys. I have a tendency to talk on it. So.
That's right. Let's try to keep it dynamic. But the one thing that we want to talk about is you are probably building Hololoot because you see a problem somewhere, or perhaps not just a problem but a challenge. So what is this problem challenge that you are looking at and that you are working to solve?
Well, we believe that NFTs haven't really reached their potential yet, and our thesis is that if we combine NFTs with AR, it's going to create, it might open up a new market, and we believe, both AR and VR NFTs can be a next level of NFTs. So we think that the reason why AR NFTs haven't really picked up yet is because it's complicated from a technical standpoint to generate them. There's very little creators who are tech savvy in the AR field, because it's a niche competency at the end of the day. So we want to make it as simple as possible for anyone who has a 3D model to be able to, take part in it. And by that, we wish to, open up a new market and kind of extend the NFT craze, basically. So it's not the most kind of world-changing issue. Like we're not an animal shelter, or we're not building a spaceship, but it's purely an entertainment lifestyle kind of project. So we're operating in the NFT sector, and we want to take it down to a next level.
Okay, so about I'm really curious about Hololoot. You said that you are unique on the blockchain, and maybe that the only competitor is Veve. But how do you outstand among Veve, and what is the problem you try to solve as Hololoot?
Well, from what I understand, Veve has a centralized way of generating content. This is the stage that we are at right now with our infrastructure. But the kind of everyday user or an AR or a content creator who's interested in AR NFTs cannot really use Vivi's or Veve's infrastructure. They only work with brands, and they most probably assign 3D models to be done by freelancers. They brand it in the as the given brand requires, and they give users a possibility to buy it. But from what I understand, it's not possible for anyone to generate their own kind of content. You have to be like Vivi controls this process. And what we want to do is we want to open up our infrastructure for other users to use it. So it would be an overstretch to call it a protocol, but I think we have an aspiration to be a protocol within like 2 years from now. So pretty much anyone can use it in a kind of open source way and You can either, use our AR marketplace, or you can build your AR experience on top of what we've created. I think that's the kind of long-term goal, but in the short term, we want to open up our infrastructure for various users to be able to create their own AR NFTs.
Yeah, what you explained about Fifi, I can recognize that they work basically only with big brands, like I believe like a DC, Superman, and brands like that. So I believe that they buy the license and they basically just create NFTs from the existing designs, for as far as I know. So yeah, it's definitely different where people on Hololoot are able to create their own. So can you explain how the technology works for the people? Is it user friendly? And also, what tools are used to generate the NFTs? Like, can it be done from desktop, from the phone? Does it have to be a particular platform? And also, are other tools required, like, for example, Adobe 3D Creative Studio?
Sure. So we are implementing a few different technologies. I would say the kind of backbone of what we're doing is the Unity 3D graphics engine. It's both in it's fueling our AR app, but it's also fueling our AR NFT generator. In regards to the 3D content creation, it's a little bit complicated because you can purchase 3D objects that are already kind of out of the box compatible with us, but you might have to also adjust it. That's why we've created a 3D content creation guideline that we will also expand it into video tutorials. We want to, of course, make it as simple as possible, but we also want to keep a certain level of assets, because, for example, if you look at the Decentraland, their asset store has, things that are of super high quality, but that are also trash. And I think that shouldn't be the case. We would like to have some kind of a minimum level that creators should follow, because we're combining, like, we're looking at three things. We're looking at visual kind of quality. We're looking at performance, because these objects have to be synchronized with the AR app in real time, so they have to weigh a certain amount of megabytes, for example, and they have to they cannot be too high poly or something, because the mobile device has a limited computing power. So there's a bunch of restrictions at this point that content creators will have to follow, but there's nothing out of ordinary for most of the game devs and 3D artists, and hopefully also for people who just buy a 3D object somewhere and they want to put it to our infrastructure. So at this point, we're testing out various limits and creating a universal pipeline for other people to use. We aim to launch it in the first quarter of the next year, most probably in the end of it. So we're still going to be heavily testing it out and updating our community as we progress.
Okay. Oh yeah, about the Hololoot, if I read correctly, there is the I forgot the name. The Hololoot Cloud and the Holo Home Augmented Reality. What is the main goal of each of those part of the projects, and what is the best, and what can I do? Should I select one? Or can I do both? Can I use both? Can you explain a little bit?
So Holohome is the name of the project that we did for the furniture sector. So it's outdated. So we switched home to loot. So right now it's Hololoot, and Hololoot Cloud is a service for content creators. I would say it's more like a B2B experience. So over there, you're able to upload the 3D models, mint them into NFTs. And I forgot to say that we're working with Engine in this department. Once you have minted them and created this 3D object over there, it's being sent into the AR app onto the kind of web store, the AR store for other for the users of the AR app to be viewed. And so the cloud is for the B2B users, and the AR app, the Hololoot AR app, is for the end users. So we envisioned it as kind of like an AR wallet, which shows you AR NFTs that you already own, but it also shows you AR NFTs that you can buy from other users. So I think it would be far-fetched to call it a marketplace at this point. It's too early for that, but we aspire to be an AR marketplace. So, for example, before you buy anything, or you can preview it in augmented reality, and we also want to add functionalities like, if you are in the same physical location, you can actually have a shared AR experience. So you can go to a physical event, whip up your phone, show your AR NFT, and then allow other users of the app to preview what you have. But since you are the owner, you get to keep it at the end of the experience. So it's like we're also looking into kind of experimental channels of promotion and sales, basically. And and then you have the kind of AR metaverse experience. So at this point, it's basically you're allowed to kind of place multiple objects in your living area. But next year we also want to add this functionality that will kind of remember your the shape of your room. So once you place your holograms all over your room, it's memorized there. So it becomes kind of a AR trophy room, so to say. So we also want to kind of give users a possibility to create a kind of like trophy halls with different loot that they have gathered from different games and other experiences. So this is kind of how we envision it at this point.
Okay. Speaking about trading NFT, so you are also developing a AR marketplace. Could you explain a bit about how it compares to normal marketplaces, and also what you will be offering to partners of the project that appear on the marketplace?
Sure. So the main difference, it's in AR, and you can actually preview the models in your living room, and we want to create. So before we kind of open it up to everybody to use it, we want to create custom collections, custom AR NFT collections with various games and projects, and we wish to implement certain functionalities into these NFTs. We're still kind of investigating what it's going to be precisely, but we kind of we envisioned a moment where you have these AR NFTs trophies in your living room, and each of that NFT gives you some kind of a boost or a utility that you can also use in different projects. So let's say that we work with CryptoBlades or with Engine, and we release common AR NFTs. I mean, mutually release AR NFTs. We would like these NFTs to have some kind of a value outside of our project and in the partner project too. So in case of Scotty Beam, this can be few free of charge teleports, NFT teleports per month if you're able to negotiate with Scotty. Or with CryptoBlades, it can give you a boost, when you're fighting, and give you like a little bit of stats. With the CryptoBlades, it's also very exciting because they're going to be opening up their Metaverse next year called Omnus. So we actually want to transform their 2D NFTs into 3D NFTs, and then make it the same sword that you're kind of fighting in the game. You can have it in AR as a trophy, but you can also bring it with you to Blocktopia, for example, as an asset that is part of your avatar. But Of course, it requires a lot of work, a lot of API kind of connection and also blockchain adjustments. But I feel like the multiverse trend is going to be what will kind of replace Metaverse. So I feel like multiverse will be the next stage of Metaverse kind of development. So at this point, we have like different islands, Metaverse islands. Each game is kind of like an island, and then I feel like with Polkadot and Affinity and so on and so forth, we will be able to kind of bridge these islands together from the NFTs kind of standpoint. And what we want to kind of move in is also bridging the 3D assets, so they are able to traverse through different games. So this is also something that we're interested in, and in that sense, the marketplace can also go beyond our AR app. But yeah, it's something that still has to be developed.
I think you just mentioned. I think you just mentioned one of the very important future values for blockchain gaming. Before we move on to the next question, because what you see now is like everyone is like moving alone. That's what you often see. Like we are in a new world, and everyone is working for their own achievement. Whereas I believe personally is that all the projects that we see right now in blockchain gaming, whether it's a game or a platform or someone that provides a different infrastructure or solutions, people need to work together. And if you have that multiverse idea, where games are connecting, you are moving towards a different step, because there's value for every project. You don't have to try to compete each other out, but you can basically go together, have your own game, but still together, and create some how do you call it, like cross game functionality and fun to play.
Absolutely. Yeah. I agree with you.
Okay, so about now I would like to know about the token. What will be the use of the whole token? What will make me hold the token instead of selling? And also, with the whole token, will we be able to stake the token to get NFTs, or stake the NFTs to get the token?
Yes. So the kind of main functionality of the token at this point is staking in return for a certain APY and access to premium AR NFTs offerings. So we wish to implement an option where you have to stake a certain amount of tokens to be able to participate in exclusive AR NFT sales. In the long run, we're also looking into implementing it as a currency within our marketplace. So I think these are the kind of main functionalities, and we're also looking into having the necessity to stake tokens as as a gateway to the Hololoot Cloud and the Hololoot AR app from the kind of content creation perspective. So these are the kind of four functionalities that we consider to be kind of core at this point, but we definitely would like to expand it, along the way. So I feel like the reason to keep the token would be that the AR NFTs collections that we're gonna release, they're going to be done with major players, and they could be of value within time. So it's a way of kind of investing in an asset, in a digital asset that I believe might have, and this is not a financial advice, that might have a chance to survive the crash of the token market. But I'm not sure. It's something that we as the team believe in. I had this thought like 2 days ago. I thought to myself that it's actually easier to manipulate the token kind of circulation by the whales than it is to manipulate the digital assets, because I feel like the digital assets, the NFTs, are more kind of spread out, more decentralized, whereas tokens, which are not NFTs, we can easily kind of buy them and then have an impact on how the market behaves. But maybe it's just maybe I'm just making stuff up. I don't know. This is something that I'm also kind of contemplating. Can you guys tell me something about your opinion about it?
That's actually an
Sorry.
interesting thought.
I think Maciek said something, but I couldn't hear what he was saying.
Oh, I was saying, I was asking if you guys feel that it's actually harder to manipulate NFTs than tokens.
Well, I was just thinking about that while you were saying it. It's interesting. It's the first time I'm a little bit hearing like this. What I'm thinking personally right here on the spot is that perhaps because when you have NFTs, you still somehow need like this manual thing of offer and demand. Whereas with fungible tokens, like the tokens, they're not the non-fungible ones. They're in a pool, in the liquidity pool, or they are on a centralized exchange. So it's like freely tradable. Obviously, they're not unique. So yeah, in my opinion, my personal opinion, I see many projects putting tax on their tokens for whales. In my opinion, that doesn't work. Some people believe it does work, but I don't think it does work. And for NFTs, it's completely different because you can still, of course, offer a lot of money for an NFT, and then probably at some point there will be someone selling it, because they see more value in what this person is offering for that NFT. But when it comes to tokens, it's a lot easier. A whale just goes to the market regardless the tax or anything, and they just buy. Even if they have systems like blacklisted wallets or limited purchases, there are also projects that do that you can only buy, let's say, 0.01% of the total supply in one transaction. But it's too easy to go around that. You create another wallet, you put money on there, you buy again, you transfer everything in one wallet, or you just use 20 different wallets. So I think you have a good point there.
Okay, thank you. To know that I'm not thinking in the incorrect. You guys bring more experience. It's nice to kind of bump this idea with you. So thank you.
It's an interesting thought. Maybe we should have another AMA in the future and talk just about this.
Yeah.
For now, let's move on to security because that's very important for all the people. They jump into the project either with tokens or creating NFTs. They want to have the feeling that everything is safe. The tokens that they purchase, the NFTs that they have created, especially if they move those NFTs around in your platform and perhaps to different games in the future. So they would want to see that all the code is audited. How are you guys dealing with that? Have certain audits already been performed? Are they in process? And if not yet, and you're going to do them, which company are you going to use for this?
Well, we have been audited by Certic, and I think the report is publicly available on their website. So you can check that out. And in regards to the NFT safety, is actually a very good point that you touched upon. Well, we're using engines, minting tools, and we are also looking into other tools. But I haven't thought about security in that department. I was kind of relying on engine because it's a solid, huge partner. So I believe they are also audited. So that's something I will have to double check. But the kind of AR NFT is made of two elements: the NFT that is on the blockchain and the 3D object that is not on the blockchain. And at this point, it's on Microsoft Azure. So this is something that we kind of have control of as Hololoot. And we definitely will be looking into a more decentralized version like Filecoin or IPFS. So even if I'm dead, the people will be able to still play with AR NFTs. That's kind of the end goal, I guess, when it comes to security and decentralization. But we're not there yet. However, we're also kind of using maximum security when it comes to 3D objects, and I believe that Microsoft Azure is a very secure place, even though it's Web 2. So this is something that we have to definitely change in the midterm, I would say.
Okay, thank you for that. I think we're gonna finish the question here. So now we're gonna take the community question. So please ask any question you want, and Maciek will answer it. Please do it in English. I don't speak Turk or other languages. Also, the giveaway code it will be shared shortly. It will appear here, I think. Sebastian will put it there. Just go ahead and fill in the glimp. And I think we first Seb put a question, and then when Maciek is answering, put the code. Okay, so the NFT market is extremely challenging these days. Can you share more specific advertising and PR strategies that you are planning?
Well, the main kind of aspect that we're focusing on are good partnerships with classical and NFT, mostly NFT gaming projects. We believe that by creating, mutual kind of AR NFTs collections, we as Hololoot can tap into these projects' communities and hopefully give them some kind of value. And in return for that, we hope we're gonna get our community to grow. We did quite of a progress recently. We grew quite rapidly. So I'm kind of already satisfied with what's going on, but yeah, we definitely have to keep growing. So partnerships are key, and we've also activated, the PR kind of actions, and yeah, we're working with a bunch of KOLs. Our kind of main KOL at this point is BitBoy, but also Alex Becker has been confirmed, and he's going to step in. So these are kind of two, big dudes who are supporting us, and with BitBoy, we're actually looking into releasing a mutual AR NFT collection together that is between us, BitBoy, and Affinity. This is something that I think that would be really, really good for the project. And we should, in my opinion, we should engage our user base more. That's why we're, having the ambassadors program. Those people actually got access to the AR app as one of the few people in the world. So we want to keep developing that, and I think we're gonna see more kind of engagement from the community when we publicly release the app, and then we will do various marketing actions to engage them even more. Like I'm thinking about giveaways, AR NFTs, auctions, maybe releasing some mini games, play to earn mini games with other projects. There's a bunch of things that I feel like the space of AR is offering that's very unique on the market. So I think it's also very social media friendly. So I think we shouldn't have much problem with getting people's attention. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Sebastian, what do you have for us?
By the way, the code has already been shared, so it will be put again later.
AR to TD and vice versa. Okay, so it's not a real complete question. It's like a short code here, but AR to TD and vice versa with CryptoBlades. Is that possible? That's how I read it.
Yes. This is actually what we're looking into. CryptoBlades have received a few samples of their assets that we have converted from 2D to AR, from AR to 2D. I haven't thought about it, but I think it's like you put the 3D model into an environment and you make a thumbnail and you have a 2D this way. So it's not really complicated, but the other way around, it requires you to take the 2D asset, give it to a 3D artist, optimize it for AR, and voila. And we did 3 samples this way, and I think they look really cool. And we should actually release it on our social media for you guys to see. So to that person who asked that question, I will try to release it on our socials within a couple of days. Yeah.
Okay.
So we have also invested in the project, so we're working on the long term. Sorry.
Yes, thank you. No, it's okay. It's okay. So many projects just like to speak about the long-term vision and mission, but what are your short-term objectives? What are you focusing on right now?
Sure. So obviously, we're going through IDO right now, today, tomorrow, and the day after, 3 IDO. On the 13th, we're gonna do the listing. We finished the smart contracts. We've audited them, did the marketing efforts, worked on partnerships. And the kind of main goal for us right now is to focus on the product development after all this, dust settles from the IDO. So it's going to be we're going to be focusing on kind of 2 spheres: the kind of marketing department and the product department. In regards to the product, we're going to be revamping the UI of the app. This is something that's already finished. We have connected the AR app to wallets, blockchain wallets. So we're actually able to, go kind of on blockchain with it. The cloud service, we have to kind of wrap up the NFT minting process. So our kind of short-term goal is to reach a point where we can upload any 3D model, mint it into a 3D NFT, and view it in the AR app. We're, I would say, 80% done with it. And once we have it done, then we can kind of expand and add new options. So yeah, I would say this is kind of where we are right now, and also from the legal side of things, the most kind of boring things, but important in the long term. We've also established a company in Switzerland, which I believe has one of the best crypto regulations in the world. So then the ecosystem should be also protected from the kind of potential legal and
tax.
That was also something that we were investigating.
I'd say you wouldn't want the China FAT bring your company down, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
All right, let's have the next question here.
Yeah.
All right, in Corey's opinion, NFT is a game changer, but not in terms of buying ugly pictures, in terms of owning stuff. If you buy a jacket, it will be shown on your adverse. What are your thoughts about it?
I think Corey might be referring to kind of hybrid, physical and digital NFTs. I'm not sure if this is where the question was heading. The example of a jacket, being on chain. I think that's a pretty dope idea. We're actually collaborating with Uniquely in creating T-shirts that are tokenized. But yeah, in the long term, I think we could also have objects, physical objects that have kind of this digital twin stored on the blockchain. I think that's a dope idea. I know that Engine is working with a company that is producing katanas, and they want to tokenize them. So I can imagine, you having a physical kind of object in your home, and then you can actually take it with you to VR social kind of space like the Decentraland or Blocktopia. The same kind of object that you that is that has a physical and digital kind of existence at the same time. I think that's dope. But I think also just purely digital assets are very interesting at the same way. They're easier to kind of scale and less hassle to maintain. You cannot lose them. So yeah, so these kind of two ways. I agree that maybe the kind of Twitter profile pictures NFTs are not necessarily the most kind of filled with like utilities and so on and so forth. But they also play a role. They have social capital connected to it. So I wouldn't demonize them. I would like to see 3D NFT version of or AR NFT version of the Bored Ape Yacht Club. Why not?
Well, if people want it and want to do it, they can do it in your platform. So if they want, let's just go ahead and do it.
They do have to have the 3D skill sets, but they can also hire somebody to do it for them. Or, and this is something that we're also looking into, they can use MetaHero's scanning chamber, but they would have to be a monkey. So that's complicated. But they can scan themselves, But my point is like the 3D content generation doesn't have to be done on the computer. You can also scan something. Apple has a great scanning software right now. It works beautifully with the kind of lidar equipped devices. So I think also photogrammetry in the context of 3D content creation will be also key.
I reckon a lot is, when you talk about the style of the NFTs, a lot is about whether you believe it or not, whether you like it. Because in my opinion, most of the blockchain gamers are believers at this moment, rather than gamers, because gamers are still off the blockchain today, most of them. So most of the people here are here because we believe in a better future when it comes to gaming. So
I agree.
It's the same for NFTs. If you see the value in the NFT, it's a valuable NFT. Same for the Bored Apes.
Yeah.
So,
at the same time, I've seen some footage from this Polish guy who I will not disclose here, and he's been, he has accessed a yacht party in Miami by having an ugly ape in his wallet. So there's some utility to it. It's just, I guess, maybe a matter of lifestyle at the same time. And, whatever, if you like yacht parties, 2D NFT can help you out.
Yeah, exactly.
Do we have any more questions, Sebastian? Rajesh, this guy is always on the AMAs. We love you. You are always here. And who will be regulating the content on the NFT to avoid offensive or adult content?
Thank you, Rajesh. That's a very good question. We haven't really thought about it, to be honest. But there were some people who we had a brief discussion regarding it, but we haven't really established any procedures. They were like, okay, what if somebody creates a 3D model of a penis, let's say, what happens then, I guess there's no good answers to this. It will either have to be like with social media companies, so basically outsource it to somebody who's gonna check it manually, which sucks.
Can you put a report button on the page on the website?
Also, yeah. Or we can train a kind of neural network to, have a set of dick pics and then kind of be able to read the 3D model and say, okay, this is it, remove it. So or maybe a combination of both. We haven't really created procedures around it, but I think it's a matter of research and just implementing the kind of best practices on the market, because I feel like a lot of other projects must be struggling with it. We all know what's happening on internet, so yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's one of the main things about all those NFT projects and everything, that the censorship will go through them.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have any more questions, Sebastian?
Oh, very active. Will it be that easy for normal users to just scan and create a AR NFT without any coding and using of 3D modeling?
Well, when it comes to scanning with LiDAR-equipped devices, I would say it's quite easy these days to generate 3D objects. I think that they also have algorithms that can kind of decimate the poly count and create kind of like low poly versions of high poly, very like sophisticated mesh geometry, which is necessary for AR. So our infrastructure is working on the GLTF 3D model format. It's used by Google, Microsoft, and all the Molochs, and it's developed by this think tank called Kronos Group. So GLTF is supposed to be the kind of JPEG of 3D. So we want to stick with it, and so I feel like if you're able to scan an object with your mobile phone, make sure it's low poly, and then export it to a GLTF, upload it to our cloud, and generate an AR NFT out of it just by minting it on the engine's tools. We're taking care of the rest. We're actually sending it to Unity, implementing it there. There's nothing that you have to code. So I feel like the question is yes. I don't have physical proof for that yet, but my kind of theoretical assumptions are that it should be achievable, and it should be as easy as it can get on the market. Just cut us some slack. We're kind of first on the market. We're still researching the best practices. So it definitely will be bumpy, but I think due time we're gonna reach a place where it's gonna be really, really good. We're gonna be working towards that.
All right, cool. I think we have time for one more question.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be the last one. So Vitalik asked, are you going to offer a hardware solution related to augmented reality? It is very cumbersome in today's technology.
Can you guys please tell me what cumbersome means? I'm not that.
To be honest, I don't know. I'm searching for it.
I would rather understand the context before.
It's large or heavy, therefore difficult to carry or to use it.
Okay, so the AR glasses. So I partially agree. So HoloLens, Microsoft HoloLens, I agree that they're kind of like bricks on your head, but you have glasses like Nreal. It's a Chinese startup, Nreal, .ai, and they are size of sunglasses. They work pretty cool, and I think Apple will release their AR glasses soon enough, whatever that means. Could be 3, 5, 10 years, and that's going to be the main kind of game changer. So I guess until that happens, we have to stick to mobile devices, so iPads and mobile phones, which is fair enough.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
Did you just mention also the Microsoft Mesh?
Microsoft Mesh, is this glasses? Are these glasses?
Yeah.
I haven't heard about it actually, so I will have to read on it.
Yeah, they have like this over-eye fold glasses. You can fold them up and you can fold them over your eyes. They're actually extremely expensive. I think they're a couple grand, couple $1,000 to buy them. But it's a very interesting technology. Actually, like Microsoft is more corporate oriented, so
Yeah.
it's less, like entertainment oriented. But they look really good, and they don't immerse you entirely in this virtual world, where we were talking about earlier in the AMA, like where you're completely in a different world. So this like half, like you can still see on your eye corners, you can still see out. So it's more for people that are searching for this immerse in a metaverse, or for virtual meetings with people all over the world, but they still want to feel like, okay, I'm still in a normal world here.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Very
So
interesting.
I think we can end the AMA here. Except you think you missed something about or you didn't say something you want to share, or if not, it's okay.
I just wanted to brag a little bit that we have 91% of the allocation sold on Seedify. So if you guys please could help us out to reach out to the goal, but it's probably going to be like you guys said, we're going to stop at 90%, 91%, and then it's going to be first come, first served. So I would
That
like
one will end in 20 seconds or less. I managed to buy only once on that phase.
So
Most of the time, people wish there is still like 30% left over for the first come first serve, so they have more chance for a second round.
okay. Yeah, so I'm very happy with the result. Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it, guys. The short notice and everything, very happy with the discussion. I really enjoyed the talk.
So thank you for coming. Thank you, Marcus, for joining me today, and also our dear Sebastian, that is always behind the cameras doing everything. And I think that's it. Thank you for coming. Don't forget about the giveaway. The code has been shared already. Maybe Sebastian will put one last time here. And that's it. So if nothing has to be said, Marcus, you want to say something? If not, we just say goodbye and maybe see you again in a few months.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Have a good night, everyone. See you next time.
Take good
Bye-bye.
care. Bye-bye.